Do you own a gun?
I don't.
Okay. Have you ever fired a gun?
Many times.
Okay. Do you have 24-hour security?
I do.
Nice to see you again. Thank you for being here. Your current budget, by my calculations, is $48.3 billion. Is that right?
The budget request is for $37.8 billion, the FY25 budget, and that would constitute a 3.5% increase over.
But with mandatory spending, your budget's 48.3. Is that right?
I don't have the number for including mandatory, but I'll certainly be able to get back to you for that.
Well, let's take out mandatory.
Yeah.
Your discretionary budget right now is $37.8 billion.
The FY25 request is for 37.8.
That's not what I'm asking.
I'm sorry?
What's your current budget?
Well, it's 3.5% less than that, so I can take out my calculator and do the math, but I don't have it in front of me.
All right, well, let me put it another way. You're asking for an extra $467 million, is that right?
In the increased amount of money that we're asking for, that's approximately right, yes.
Okay. To your knowledge, in the past, let's say 40 years, has the Department of Justice ever come before Congress and said, we don't need any more? We're going to make it with what we've got in light of the fiscal circumstances in the country?
I normally wouldn't want to speculate, but in this case, I can't imagine that the Department of Justice, facing increasing threats every year, violent crime, threats to our national security, drug trafficking threats,
Is that a no?
I don't know the answer, but I think it would be surprising if the department ever asked for less money. I think that would be not responsible.
You talked in a little bit in your testimony, General, about guns, and you've been very outspoken about the need for more gun control. With respect, and if you don't mind me asking, do you own a gun?
I don't.
Okay. Have you ever fired a gun?
Many times.
Okay. Do you have 24-hour security?
I do.
Okay. Let me ask you about fentanyl, because that's a huge problem, and I know you're worried about it, as are we. And we've, of course, got a problem with the precursor chemicals coming into Mexico to the Mexican cartels who manufacture the fentanyl and send it into the United States. Isn't a big part of the problem that if you took the Mexican drug cartels and turned them upside down and shook them, that President Lopez Obrador would fall out of their pockets?
Well, I'll leave the metaphor aside. The department has said that we do not have an investigation of the President of Mexico.
Do you think President of Mexico is our friend?
We need cooperation from Mexico. Mexico has been somewhat cooperative with respect to our fight against the cartels, not as helpful as I wish they were, but without their cooperation, we can't be successful in destroying the cartels.
Why wouldn't the president go to President Lopez Obrador and say, no offense, but the fentanyl problem is killing Americans. The illegal immigration problem is hurting Americans. If you don't cooperate with us, and he clearly hasn't been, and he's not afraid of us, we're going to implement tariffs on Mexico until you do.
I think there are many ways to encourage cooperation from another country.
But that would do it, wouldn't it?
I don't know whether that would do it or whether...
You don't think that would get his attention?
I am not a diplomat. I'm not a foreign affairs strategist. I know we need their support and cooperation.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that would be positive or negative.
So we just ask politely.
Well, we do more than that, but
Right.
considerably more than that.
Let me ask
I don't know the answer to your
Okay.
high-level
Let me ask you one
strategy
last question in my 14 seconds. I've been dying to ask you this question.
How long have you been dying to ask me this question?
Long time. Long time.
A fiery Senate hearing erupted as Senator John Kennedy confronted Attorney General Merrick Garland on everything from the Department of Justice's growing budget to the fentanyl crisis and the Hunter Biden investigation. Kennedy's rapid-fire questioning put Garland on the defensive, culminating in a tense exchange over why Hunter Biden was never prosecuted for certain tax-related offenses. I watched Senator Kennedy open by questioning Garland about the Justice Department's budget, challenging the department's request for hundreds of millions of dollars in additional funding. Kennedy asked whether the Department of Justice had ever come before Congress in recent decades and simply said it could manage with its current budget. Garland replied that, given rising threats from violent crime, drug trafficking, and national security concerns, he couldn't imagine the department requesting less funding. Kennedy appeared unconvinced, suggesting that federal agencies rarely ask Congress for less money regardless of the nation's fiscal situation. The hearing then shifted to gun policy before Kennedy turned his attention to one of America's biggest public safety challenges, fentanyl. Kennedy argued that precursor chemicals continue flowing into Mexico, where cartels manufacture fentanyl before smuggling it into the United States. He pressed Garland on Mexico's role in the crisis and questioned whether the Mexican government had done enough to stop the cartels. Kennedy suggested that stronger economic pressure, including tariffs, might force greater cooperation. Garland responded that while Mexico's assistance has been important, he wasn't prepared to speculate on whether tariffs would improve the relationship, emphasizing that cooperation remains essential to dismantling the cartels. If you're enjoying this breakdown of today's hearing, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below.
Mr. Hunter Biden did not pay taxes on $1 million in 2014 and 2015. And he deducted payments from his income tax for personal expenses when he did file. For hookers, for a Lamborghini, for strip clubs, for sex clubs, for porn website memberships. Why did the Department of Justice let the statute of limitations run?
As you well know, Senator.
So you can't prosecute?
As you well know, Senator, that investigation is being conducted by Mr. Weiss, who was appointed by President Trump to be the U.S. Attorney in Delaware. Much of the investigation you're talking about occurred during the previous administration under Mr. Weiss. Mr. Weiss has continued his investigations. He's now a special counsel. He will issue a report which
So are
will
you saying
explain
it's
those,
Trump's fault?
which will explain. No, I don't know whether there's fault or not. Mr. Weiss will explain this in his report.
But we can't. Mr. Hunter Biden walks free on not paying taxes on $1 million from 2014 and 15 because the Department of Justice let it happen, right?
Again, I'm not going to comment on decisions made in a pending investigation. In the end, Mr. Weiss will issue a report. I will provide the report to Congress. You'll be able to question Mr. Weiss as to his reasoning, and he will be able to defend his reasoning.
Would you come with Mr. Weiss when he does that?
I'm not going to know the intricacies of Mr. Weiss' investigation. There would be no point. It's Mr. Weiss who's responsible for this investigation.
But you were head of the Department of Justice.
Yes, and I've appointed him as special counsel so that he can independently investigate this matter.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Senator Kennedy.
With only seconds remaining, Kennedy turned to the issue that generated the hearing's most dramatic exchange, Hunter Biden. He questioned why tax-related charges connected to Hunter Biden's 2014 and 2015 tax filings were no longer prosecutable, arguing that the statute of limitations had expired before charges were filed. Garland repeatedly declined to discuss the details, explaining that Special Counsel David Weiss was independently overseeing the investigation and would eventually submit a report to Congress. Kennedy wasn't satisfied, arguing that regardless of who conducted the investigation, the Department of Justice remained responsible for its handling. As time expired, Kennedy pressed Garland one final time, asking whether he would appear alongside Special Counsel Weiss when Congress reviewed the investigation. Garland declined, saying Weiss, not the Attorney General, was responsible for explaining the decisions made during the investigation. The exchange ended with neither side giving ground. The hearing evolved into a broad debate over government spending, border security, fentanyl trafficking, and the Hunter Biden investigation. Senator Kennedy questioned the Justice Department's priorities and demanded greater accountability, while Attorney General Garland defended the department's work and repeatedly pointed to the independence of the special counsel investigation. The sharp exchange underscored the ongoing political battles surrounding the Justice Department and some of the nation's most contentious issues.